At this station, guys, you're doing two things. You're going to hook the camera, the Canon G20, to the tripod, and then after it's all hooked up, you're going to use some cabling and some connectors to hook the camera to the TriCaster, because we need to get the video signal from this camera to the TriCaster in order to broadcast our news. We don't worry about audio with this. We're not capturing any audio with this camera, so the only thing we're transmitting is video, and that's done through this component cable right here that has 3 different video signals that go with it, 3 different channels. Alright, so let's start by just hooking the camera up to the tripod. Now, a common mistake that students will make with this is that they'll often just grab this and they'll start twisting on the tripod, and that is so bad. You don't want to do that, because by accident you may drop the camera while you're doing it, because it's kind of, not very safe. And then also you might end up stripping out the screw right here. And then the other thing is you might, you're not going to be able to get it tight enough. So what students don't realize is that this mounting plate actually comes off. So what you do is there are always it's like a 2-step removal process. So you loosen the kind of lock right here so it can slide, but notice it still doesn't come out. And then it depends on the tripod. Sometimes it's in the back, sometimes it's on the side, but you just push, you look for a button, and you push that button in. It's got a pretty good spring on it to hold it in place, but you push that button and it slides right out, okay? So once you get it out, you hold the camera in one hand upside down, you hold the mounting plate in the other hand, and you get it lined up, and look at the bottom of the mounting plate. There's always usually a little piece of text that says where the lens is supposed to be. And so it says lens this way, so I've got the mounting plate pointed in the right way, okay? That's important for it to fit on right. And then you just screw it on, and no matter how tight you get it with your hand, it's probably not going to be like perfectly tight. So what you want to do is get a screwdriver, which I've got a toolbox in the storage closet, and you can just kind of lightly tighten it down. You don't want to like torque it down really, really tight, but you do want to snug it up so that you can't really remove it with your hand, okay? And then once that's done, you just like slide it in very carefully, make sure it's level from the back. You slide it in until it clicks, and then once you get to this point, it's not coming out, okay? But you don't want it to be able to slide and wiggle, so then you tighten it down with that little screw on the right side, and if you did it right, everything should be nice and snug, okay? No wiggling, nothing, all right? The second thing you need to do now that this is hooked up, then you're going to go ahead and switch and turn and hook it up to the TriCaster. So to do that, we're going to use a variety of different things. We need to have a breakout cable right here, which is going to take this little plug that plugs into the camera on the side here, and it's going to break it out into our component cable. And then what we're going to do is then use some adapters to hook it all together. So you just plug this into the side of the camera. And I'm not actually going to tell you guys which connectors to use, but I have a nice handy little box of adapters right here, and they're for all different purposes, but I'll teach you guys problem solve. You need to find the right adapter to hook this to this, because obviously these are not going to fit right, okay? So there's an adapter that will allow you to hook these two together. And then again, as you go to the TriCaster, there may be another adapter for that too. I don't know, you're just going to have to play with it. But there are 4 different places in the TriCaster where you can plug in cameras. We can have up to 4 cameras hooked up to our TriCaster. So once you guys do that, you get the tripod hooked up, you get this hooked up to the TriCaster with this cable. Make sure all the cords are like safe and hidden away so nobody trips on it. And then feel free to play with the camera for the last few minutes. Like turn it on. The people at the TriCaster will appreciate the 3rd video feed that they have to play with. And you can mess with some of the settings on the camera to learn about the touch screen and the different settings within the camera. So have fun.